All right, what is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another KC Sports Report live stream. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, as always, and today I'm going to preview the Chiefs and Eagles Week 4 matchup, which should be a good one, but I do want to say that I don't have a ton of time tonight. I have some other obligations to attend to, but I wanted to make sure to get on this live stream and give my thoughts on this game because there's a lot to talk about because this game, and we're going to get into it later in the stream, this game could mean the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't want to be like that because there's still a lot of season left to be played. But this game is very, 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 very important. What's up, Cole? I see you're vacationing in Florida. Well, congrats about that. That sounds much better. What's up, Billy? Can't say that is going to happen, but I mean, we'll see. With that being said, though, I am going to get into it because, like I said, I don't have a ton of time tonight. But, going over the Chiefs injury report, Rashad Fenton didn't practice with a concussion. Willie Gay is still not going to play in this game. He hasn't been practicing with the team. He's been on the sidelines with his jersey on, but no shoulder pads, no cleats, no nothing. And that's disappointing because I thought that he'd be back by now, but it just shows that we're going to be missing Willie Gay for another week. So they're going to have to find a way to adjust to that. But, if there's any game in which the Chiefs are going to get back on track, it's against the Eagles. The Eagles are not a good football team, being straight up. This is one of the easier games the Chiefs have on their schedule, just being completely honest. But we've seen in the past, we've treated some very easy teams like they're the Super Bowl champions or like they're a playoff team. And you can't do that. This game, the Chiefs need to come out and impose their will. I've been saying it for a while. The Chiefs haven't beaten a team, just absolutely pedal to the metal and just blew out a team since the Jets last year. And I think they won that game by like 3 touchdowns. But, after that, they went on that stretch of games like 7 or 8 straight where they won every game by less than a touchdown. I think it was 6 points or less. And that's not good enough. You need to find a way to come out and play your brand of football for 4 quarters. And if they do that, they're going to win the game pretty handily. But the problem is they have not played a game from start to stop to full completion well. They've had good quarters and they've had good halves, but they have not played 4 good quarters of football that resulted in a blowout win. We just have not seen it since the Jets last year. And, we need to see that in this game. The Chiefs can't mess around. Patrick Mahomes said it in an interview this week. The backs, the hypothetical backs are up against the wall. This game is really, really important. And, if you would have asked me this coming into this season, I would have thought you're crazy. It's the Eagles Week 4. I thought the Chiefs would be at least 3-0 by now, or maybe at the absolute worst, 2-1. But, the Chiefs are 1-2. This game has pretty big ramifications on how the rest of the season plays out because, the Chiefs are last in the AFC West. We're not used to seeing this. But, you can also get out of this deficit extremely quickly. I think if you win this week and you win next week, you got a shot to be either in second or first place, assuming the rest of the guys lose. But, that just kind of shows you how good this division is. And the Chiefs are going to have to start to win a few games here and there. And, I think that they have clearly enough talent to do so, but they just keep tripping up on themselves. If they don't fumble the ball or turn the ball over, they beat the Chargers. If they don't fumble the ball against the Baltimore Ravens, if Clyde doesn't decide to give it to the other team, they win that game. They kick a field goal, they get a touchdown. I don't know how it happens, but they win that game. And you blew 2 games, and you're now 1-2. You're under 500. You can't afford to lose this game. This is the most important game the Chiefs are going to play in this season until the next important game happens. Right now, this is I'm seeing Billy's comment. This is the most important game the Chiefs are going to play for right now. And I think that, it's coming up against a good opponent because the Chiefs should blow the Eagles out of the water. The Eagles are not a good football team. They lost 41-21 against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. So, I mean, I guess you could say the Eagles are coming off of a short week, even though they got 6 days to prepare instead of 7. But I think that, this is a game in which the Chiefs should come out for 4 quarters and dominate. And if they don't, we're going to have a problem. I think that if the Chiefs come out in this game and fumble the ball, turn the ball over, not move the ball on offense. The defense gives up a bunch of yards to Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith, the wide receivers, or they can't stop Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, who actually is second in rushing attempts behind all quarterbacks except for Lamar Jackson. But if they can't stop that, we're going to have a problem. If Mahomes has to go on a last-minute comeback drive, you're going to hear me rant. You're going to hear me scream. You're going to hear me shout, because that's just not acceptable. There is no reason as to why the Chiefs should have to go to the wire with this Eagles team that has no business even playing the Chiefs. I mean, it just kind of shows you how bad the Eagles have been, but also the Chiefs haven't played very good football over the past couple weeks either. They've played pretty bad football by Chiefs standards. Let's be honest here. I was actually just watching the Chiefs video, like 5 stats, or maybe it's 6 stats to know. Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave have 16 pressures for 4 sacks this season, and that's pretty big for a front four. I think that they rank in the upper half of the league in doing so. And, it's going to be a challenge for this Chiefs offensive line. Let's be honest. Last week, they weren't great. Now, they weren't bad. They did enough to win the game, but Mahomes was under pressure a lot last week. I mean, oh man, Joey Bosa cooked Lucas Niang, being completely honest. And that's going to have to change, because you're going up against probably a better defensive line than the Chargers. Oh my gosh, I'm stuttering. But the Eagles' defensive line is overall better, I would say. But yeah, this is a really big game. The Chiefs are going to have to come out and show them what they got. But I want to address the super chat by my guy Billy Scott. He said, on a serious note, good luck this Sunday. You're going to need it. I honestly got the Eagles by 14. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. I appreciate the donation, Billy, but I can't see that happening. We're going to have to wait and see, but, man, if the Chiefs lose by 14 to the Eagles, you're going to see me throw something. Something's going through a window. We're just going to be honest here. But, yeah, I appreciate the donation, bro. Let's see some of the other comments. Wish the Chiefs would have signed Richard Sherman. Our defense is trash. Needs all the help it can get. Richard Sherman's not the answer, guys. Let's be honest. We saw what Richard Sherman did in that Super Bowl against us. You know what Sammy Watkins did? He made him into burnt toast. You do not need that in the secondary. If anything, you should pick up Jamie Collins, the linebacker that just got released by the Lions. But the Chiefs have shown no interest in him, so that's not going to happen. But the problem is with the front four and the linebacking core, not so much the secondary. You can win a championship with the guys the Chiefs have in the secondary. Just being completely honest, you've got enough pieces there. At least in my opinion. I'm tired of the dropped interception stat that people are now catching Mahomes into people or rubbing it in. The dropped interception stat's the dumbest thing. It makes no sense to me. Like you're getting on a quarterback you're judging a quarterback because the defensive back couldn't catch the football. That's why they're defensive backs. If they were better as receivers, they wouldn't be a defensive back. That's just kind of the nature of the game. A lot of wide receivers switch to defensive back because they cannot catch the football. So I don't get it. Creed's a top 3 rookie offensive lineman per PFF. I don't normally agree with PFF. I think that is, sometimes they've got good rankings, sometimes they don't. But I'm not really gonna buy too much into that. But he's been good this season. I will give him that. He has been a step up over the past couple of years than the guys that we've had. What's going on, LA? I appreciate you stopping by, just like Billy. Village Boy, how mad would you be if the Chiefs lost this Sunday? I'd be pretty mad, because the Chiefs, I've kind of explained why the Chiefs have lost the past couple weeks. I've kind of made some excuses like, oh, it's early. The Chiefs are going to get better. They're going to figure it out. But if you don't win this game with everything you've got in your advantage, we got a problem. There is a significant problem if you cannot win this game. And that's not trying to downplay the Eagles, but the Chiefs have no business losing to the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's be honest here. The Eagles are 1-2 as well, but the one game they did win was against the Falcons, and the Falcons are even worse than the Eagles. So I really think that the Chiefs have no business losing this game, and they have to treat it as such. You cannot come out in this game and expect to do what you did last week and win. I mean, I don't care who you are. If you turn the ball over 4 times, you're not going to win the game. I don't care if you're the Bucks. I don't care if you're the Cowboys. I don't care if you're the Rams. You will not win a game if you turn the ball over 4 times. It's impossible. Let's see. Looking over my notes, I mean, yeah, it's just Chiefs need to win this game by 2 touchdowns. I feel like if they don't win this game by at least a score, let's go 10 points. If they don't win this game by 10 points, we're going to have a problem because, again, the Eagles are not a good football team. We should absolutely blow this team out. And that is just more of a confidence in the Chiefs over how bad the Eagles are. Because I think that, the Chiefs have played all right football the first couple of weeks of the season. They did enough to win that Ravens game. They didn't end up doing it. But, I think that that game against the Chargers is really the game that they deserve to lose because they didn't play like it. But, like I said, if Clyde doesn't fumble that ball in the Ravens game, you win it. So over or under 4 turnovers this week, I'm going to go with under. It better be under. If it's over 4, over 3, if it's over 2, we're going to have a problem. They really should take care of the football, and we shouldn't have to see any. But, bracing for it and playing devil's advocate, if Mahomes throws another pick or 2 and this defense is on the field more, that's just another concern. And it's just like, I don't think the defense actually played that bad in the last game. I think that it's kind of, I think that it's more of a, I completely lost my train of thought, but yeah, guys, I'm tired, but, I think that going over to, the turnover aspect, there should be no turnovers. We've seen in the past couple years in the Andy Reid coaching era in Kansas City, the Chiefs have never been known for turnovers. That's just not how they play football. And it's very unusual to see all these turnovers happen. But, it just kind of goes to show you that, it's really hard to beat the Chiefs. And when the Chiefs do stuff to give you a leg up, it's just like, guys, come on. Like, if you don't turn the ball over 4 times, you more than likely win that game last week. And I know LA's in here, but let's be honest, LA. If we don't turn the ball over 4 times, we keep the ball on those red zone drives, do you think the Chargers win this game? Because I don't. I really don't. I think that is just not realistic because, the Chiefs turned the ball over 4 times and they lost by 6 points. They had a chance to win it at the end of the game, and they didn't. You don't turn the ball over. You don't give the Chargers 4 extra possessions. They don't win, especially when they got like 14 points off of turnovers. Not trying to make this a Chargers-Chiefs rant because that's not really what this stream is about. But I just had to address it because it is it's frustrating to see all the media kind of turn on the Chiefs. And I was expecting it, to be honest with you. I was surprised that they were kind of as calm as they were because I was expecting them to say that the Chiefs are done. They're not going to win the division. They're not going to do this. But, the media hasn't done that. But looking on Twitter, a lot of opposing fan bases, including the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, including the Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders, they're starting to pump their chest a little bit. They're starting to get a little bit confident. And that's going to be a really big mistake because guys, we're 3 weeks into this season. When the Chiefs actually put together a good stretch of games, when the Chiefs start to win these games, it's going to put that pressure back on the other teams in the division to be perfect because these teams know that in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, or in order to win the division, you've got to be nearly perfect. And the Chiefs have done that over the past couple years. But, they haven't started off like that, but it's put so much pressure in years past on other teams in the division that it's benefited them. And they haven't had that same pressure applied this year. And it's why they're 1-2, and it's why they're also 4th in the AFC West. But I just don't expect that to last very long. Heck, if the Chargers lose this week or if the Raiders lose this week, I think we'd go up to 3rd place in the division or something like that. But guys, it's early. I still have this team winning the division. Do you think that we would be in jeopardy of missing the playoffs if we lost to the Eagles? Yeah. And the biggest reason that I would say this, and this is actually a very good question, Anthony. I appreciate it. If you can't beat the Eagles, who can you beat? Is kind of the question that I'm going to ask you. I get every team has a bad week. I remember the Raiders almost lost to the Jets last year, but the Raiders also weren't a team with championship aspirations. This Chiefs team has been to back-to-back Super Bowls, and the expectation is Super Bowl. That is what we expect. Call us a delusional Chiefs fan all you want. The Chiefs have set the bar here. And when they're playing below the bar down here, we're going to have complaints. We're going to have reason to be concerned. Granted, it's early, but a loss to this Eagles team, I think would be detrimental because the Eagles have no business winning this game. I get it that they're at home, and I get it that they're going to have that crowd, which Philly fans are crazy, but there is no excuse to lose this game. I think that, if you lose this game following losing the past two, something's going on wrong internally, because you should not be losing 3 straight games if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, and you also should not be losing to the Eagles. That's just kind of how we roll. But speaking of the Eagles, Andy Reid's actually looking for his 100th career win with the Chiefs, and where would be a better place to do it than with his or against his former team in the Eagles? I think that's just lining up to be a perfect story. But we're gonna have to wait and see, because I think that if the Chiefs come in and don't treat this game seriously, it's going to come down to the end. And that would infuriate me, like, greatly. It's going to be a blowout city, I hope. I mean, it better. Like I said, 10 points or more. That's what we got to see. We got to see this Chiefs team come out and impose their will on the Eagles, because the Eagles are a far less superior team, and the Chiefs have that capability. They just haven't done it. Yep, I agree. That Bills game is next Sunday night. Is that? Oh yeah, that's the Sunday night football game. That's going to be a good one. Seems even more important. We need to beat the Eagles, but lose to the Bills will be 2-3 and sitting. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this next stretch of games is pretty important. And Billy, I don't know if you're still in here. We play the Titans on the road. I think it's week 7. That's going to be a really good game. But yeah, Chiefs are going to have to put on their A game. I think that if the Chiefs just correct the small mistakes, it's always the little things that end up being the big things. Turning the ball over, not being able to do the small things on defense, like setting the edge or stopping the run, or even just playing, not blowing a coverage. Something as simple as that. It's just like the little things really end up to be the big things. And, this Chiefs team has been so good at doing those big things over the past couple of years that maybe they're starting to neglect the little things. And I hope that they get those corrected, which I think they are going to get it corrected. But, we're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm expecting to see this Chiefs team come out and just look fantastic in this game. And if they don't, we're gonna have a problem. LA, it would have been a shootout for sure. It had not been for those 4 turnovers. Facts is you had a hard time stopping us too. I felt like it had been a shootout. We would have still had the same result. That's a very fair point. And like I said, LA, all props to your team. The Chargers, I already had the Chargers beating us at one point this year. I thought that it was going to happen in Los Angeles, but you guys just happened to beat us at home. But I think the Chargers are a really good football team. In fact, I think the Chiefs probably played 3 playoff teams in the first 3 weeks of the season. And looking at the Broncos schedule, the 3 teams that they've faced are all combined 0-9. So it just kind of goes to show you the strength of schedule between the best team in the previous years over the worst team in the previous years. Yeah, we had a tough time stopping you guys. When was the last time the Chiefs blew out a good team? Oh, I don't know. When was the last time the Chiefs blew out a good team? Probably, actually, postseason included, it's the AFC Championship game when you killed the Bills. But besides that, regular season wise, I don't know. Probably somewhere in the 2018 season mark, because in 2018 the Chiefs had to put up a ton of points, because if they didn't, that that defense was going to let them down, which is kind of like what we're seeing this year. But that's another thing. That's actually a really good segue into the keys to the game. Don't turn the ball over. I've been talking about that for the entire 20 minutes I've been on here. And I think that, another really important thing is that you've got to sustain these long drives and end them in touchdowns. The Chiefs have kind of had a rough go at scoring consistently, at least in the first couple weeks. It seems like they'll get a touchdown here or there, and it comes in spurts, but you're going to have a really good fourth quarter, but a not so good third quarter. And we need to see them consistently put together good drives. And even if they don't result in a touchdown, they got to result in points. And on the defensive side of the ball, you've got to do something to get a stop in the red zone. The Chiefs have, I think, a historically bad red zone defense. I think they give up a touchdown 75% of the time, which I don't even know how you have a chance of winning games if you're giving up a touchdown 75% of the time in the red zone. But yet the Chiefs still have found a way to do that over the past couple years. But, maybe they're just kind of showing this season that you can't afford to be this bad defensively and expect to win every game. Because, the Chiefs defense, even though I didn't think they were that bad last week, they kind of fell apart in the second half. And I think that, part of that is due to the fact that they were on the field the majority of the game because the offense decided to give the Chargers another possession. But we've got to see this defense play better because, again, this is the Eagles. I cannot stress enough how bad this team is. And if you have trouble defensively against this offense that hasn't really been that great, it's just like, if they can't do it against this team, which team are they going to be able to do it against? That's why this game is so important because, somebody asked, like, is this game going to really mean that much in terms of playoffs because it's week 4? If you can't beat the Eagles, who can you beat? I mean, I keep asking that question because if you can't beat the Eagles, you're sure as hell not going to beat the Bills. You're not going to beat any good team in the AFC. I mean, that's just being honest. And I think that, the Chiefs know this and they're going to come out and attack. I would hope so. We should easily win by 14 or more. If not, we need to put a game together where we're hitting on all cylinders and remind the rest of the NFL how good we truly are. I mean, yeah, we're kind of flying under the radar right now, as we should. We haven't played very good football this year, but, guys, I think that when we look at some of the things that have been said outside of Chiefs Kingdom, it's bad. I think that it's ridiculous how these other AFC West teams, and I'm not even talking about the Chargers because I know LA told me, or maybe I was listening to him on a stream, that he still doesn't have the Chiefs. Well, it's going to be a close match coming down to the end, but he still doesn't think the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs out for the division. A lot of these Raiders fans, a lot of these Broncos fans are like, hey, we are better than you. And I think that that's a grave mistake because we've seen over the past 6-7 years in the Andy Reid tenure that one thing that the Chiefs are extremely good at is winning against divisional teams. The Broncos haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2015. The Raiders haven't, well, the Raiders beat us last year, but before that, the Raiders did not beat us in a while. And it's just like the Chiefs have always won these divisional games. And over the past couple seasons, they haven't. And yet they still won the division last year. And I know they haven't started off great this year, but they're going to figure it out, folks. It's really early on. It's really, really early on. What's up with us barely using Clyde in the passing game? He gets one pass against the Chargers and scores. Yeah, we're not using his versatility, but at the same time, like, I think that, maybe Mahomes doesn't feel comfortable throwing to him. As weird as that sounds, I think that, his height does have a problem, as much as I'd like to ignore it. I mean, being a smaller target, when Mahomes is on the run, I think there was actually just a play either in last game or against the Ravens in which Mahomes was going to his left or his right, and Clyde was open. Clyde had a literal wide open field. All he had to do was catch the ball and turn around, and Mahomes took it himself. He just disregarded Clyde completely, and I don't know if that's because he just doesn't trust Clyde in the passing game. I'm not too sure, but I think that they've really got to utilize Clyde more in the passing game, and specifically screen passes. Over the past, I don't even know how long, running backs in this system have always really flourished in the passing game, and specifically catching balls in the flat. Why aren't they running more screen passes? I want Clyde to be in a position where he has some open field to work with, because let's be honest, he hasn't been that great at running in between the tackles this year. And maybe getting him in open space would be a good thing. And maybe he can maybe he can display some of the bursts that we've yet to see. And I'd hope to see that, but maybe it's just the Chiefs aren't really putting him in a position to be successful. And that's unfortunate. But you know what, guys? I want to start talking about this because I completely have forgot to talk about it. Chiefs got Josh Gordon. And, I made a video on Monday breaking down that signing. And, since then, he's been on the practice field. He has practiced with the Chiefs, I think, yesterday and today. And I'm excited, guys. I really am. He offers something in terms of length and athleticism that the Chiefs really lack at wide receiver other than Tyreek Hill. And I think that he's going to be a guy that you can send over the middle of the field, and he is going to be able to catch some of those tough passes over the middle of the field. Mecole Hardman, you put him in the slot, and he doesn't catch the football. He doesn't run his route to perfection. He stops too early, or he doesn't know where to be, or something is always wrong with Mecole Hardman. I think that Josh Gordon's really going to have a chance to flourish in this system. Now, I said this in my initial recap video, my breakdown video. He's still going to have to be on the field. That's been the biggest problem with Josh Gordon over his career. Can he be on the field? He hasn't really played a full season. I think his last season was 2015, 2016. And that's a long time to be out of football. But, you could also look at it like, hey, he doesn't really have any tread on the tires because he's been out of football so frequently. But, I was watching some tape on him yesterday, which I don't know if that was a big mistake, because I'm watching what he did in 2019, and I think he's got a lot to offer for this Chiefs team. If he is Seattle Josh Gordon and doesn't get suspended, he's comeback player of the year. He is going to be a bona fide number 2 wide receiver on this team if he's on the football field and he plays like he did in 2019. Now, I get it that it was a very small sample size in 2019. I think it was only 5 games with the Seahawks. But if we see that this year, and if he does not get suspended, because, the big thing in the past, he likes his devil's lettuce. He's big into marijuana, and, the CBA has always been against that, but now they're not. So maybe he can't get suspended for that. So I think that, if he can just stay out of trouble and just, if he can stay out of trouble and stay on the football field, the Chiefs got their guy. But if he can't, he's not going to be. He's not going to be anywhere for this team. So I think that, if he's on the football field, great, but you can't really expect him to be a contributing factor to this team, because he hasn't been on any team since like 2013. It is just, you can't trust Josh Gordon, and, you'd love to, but he hasn't shown over his career that he's a good guy to trust, which is unfortunate. But, we're going to have to wait and see if he's on this team in 3 weeks or 1 week. Who knows? Maybe he gets cut after this week. We don't know. Maybe he gets suspended again. I would hope not, but, there's always that chance with Josh Gordon. Oh, this is a great comment too. Actually, Marlon tweeted me this on Twitter, which is at KC Sports Report on Twitter. If you haven't already followed the show, Marlon let me know about this tweet that Ben Neiman said that the problem isn't the scheme with this Chiefs defense. And so I was basically like, all right, did Ben Neiman just admit that he sucks at playing football? Like, if it's not a problem with the scheme, Ben, that means it's a problem with you. You are the problem. Like that. And honestly, I laughed really hard when I saw that, because it's just like, you're confirming what we all believe, and maybe you're starting to believe it too. But yeah, that's even more concerning, that, hey, it's not the scheme, it's the personnel. And Ben Neiman, you are part of the personnel. I'm on call and just got one. Sorry, I got to go, Mike. Have a good one, everybody. Have the best Friday. Yeah, I appreciate you coming by, Aaron. It's always good to have you. And like I said, guys, this is going to be a shorter stream. I'll probably go for 5 or 10 more minutes. I'll answer all your questions and get to your concerns. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I even retweeted one. There's a lot of really good jokes involving Josh Gordon. I think that's something that I hope that he can joke about, but I would understand if he can't, because it's a problem. It's a problem, and he suffered through this for a while. So yeah, we're just gonna wait and see if he can play. But if he can play, we're gonna have a we're gonna have a comeback player of the year on our hands, and I say that very confidently. When is Gay coming back? I don't know. I would hope week 5 or 6. I hope week 5. He has not practiced with the team since like training camp, and he's put a jersey on this week, but no helmet, no cleats, no pads. I think we're looking at least 1 to 2 more weeks, maybe longer. That's just kind of where I'm at right now, but we need Willie Gay back, because I don't want to see Ben Neiman in this lineup anymore. His time is run the course. That's just the truth in this matter. He has run his course as a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, sorry for not really diving into this game probably as well as I could have, but it's very simple for me. The Chiefs win this game, they come out and they dominate. And if they don't, we'll address it then. But, we can't really do anything in terms of talking about anything else, because I think the Chiefs know what they've been doing wrong. It's just, can they stop it? Can they limit the turnovers? Which, again, I'm saying I'm a broken record at this point. If they stop the turnovers, if they can score points, if they can stop the other team in the red zone, they're going to win this game. And honestly, I could see the Chiefs turning the ball over a couple times and still winning this game pretty handily, because the Eagles are not a good team. They have trouble scoring the ball. They have trouble stopping teams defensively. And I think that if you cannot win this game, something's got to go. Maybe it's Spags. I don't think it's Andy Reid, but someone has got to go. There is too much talent on this team for this team to be playing as poorly as they are. I'm just going to say that. I seen some footage of Gordon at practice running routes. He looked pretty decent for not playing last season, so I'm optimistic if he can stay on the field. If he can stay on the field, I think that we're really going to get a good player, but that's just always the question. Can he be on the field? And he's shown that he can't really be on the field over the past couple of years, but I'm optimistic that this time will be a little bit different. But, I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong, and he could get cut by the end of this week. We don't know. Maybe he gets cut tomorrow. I mean, with Josh Gordon, you really never know. And that almost adds to like the anticipation, just like, oh, is he going to be able to play on the field, or what's it going to happen, or when is it? But, I was talking about this with Josh Fan, my guy Josh Fan, on the Kingdom Crew podcast, which I do. You got to love Brett Veach's aggressiveness. Love him or hate him, I guess he could have addressed this in the offseason and we wouldn't have even had to pick up Josh Gordon. But the fact remains that he didn't, and the Chiefs needed something at terms of a number 2 wide receiver. And Brett Veach went out and got one. If he can stay on the field, Josh Gordon is going to be a pretty good number 2 wide receiver for this team, which I do applaud Brett Veach for going out there and at least trying to fix the problem. But, defensively, this Chiefs team is going to have to show that they are capable of being a good defense. I mean, I don't expect them to be a top 10 defense anymore. I thought that they had that capability coming into this season. I was dead wrong. I think that, top 15 would be optimistic at this point. I think we're looking between 15 and 20. And if they can't prove that they can win games with this defense, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. I mean, I think that defense isn't as important in winning championships as it used to be. But with a defense that's giving up a touchdown to the opposing team in 75% of their drives, you cannot win a game. You cannot win games, and you're going to have a lot of trouble. And that's just kind of where we're at right now. And I hope that they're going to get better. I think that they will get better because there's a lot of time left in the season, but you never know. I mean, maybe this Chiefs defense is just like the 2018 defense, in which case they're just no good. They have nothing. I mean, I guess that 2018 Chiefs defense was pretty good in terms of rushing the passer. But honestly, I'd love to have D Ford back right now. That man, I just now thought about that. D Ford over Frank Clark. D Ford lines up off sides, but Frank Clark doesn't line up. Like, being honest, Frank Clark doesn't even play in any of the games. So it's just like, pick your poison, I guess. So with that being said, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this stream up. I do appreciate everybody for coming out. I appreciate Billy Scott for the $10 donation. It really does help this channel. It helps me out. And I think that, I'll be here Sunday following the game with my post-game show, as well as a post-game live stream. I want to get your thoughts. We're either going to be pretty happy following this game or extremely pissed off, and it's going to make for an interesting post-game show. But normally I'll have guys like Josh Fan and Lucas Murphy on, but unfortunately we were not able to get those guys on tonight. But yeah, I think that I guess I'll answer this question and we'll wrap it up. How long will it take for Gordon to get in the playbook or get to know the playbook? I think that he's going to pick it up relatively quickly because he's a smart player. And the scheme offensively isn't it's not that complicated. They do a lot of stuff in terms of movement, but I think that's something that he could pick up pretty quickly. I think he could pick it up or enough to play in a game in like a week or two. I really do. I think we see Josh Gordon play week 5, not this week, but we see him play in week 5. And we'll have to see. Maybe he doesn't make it to week 5. Again, I'm not saying that he will, but, I think that if Josh Gordon plays on this team, we're going to have that number 2 wide receiver. But with that being said, guys, I am going to end this live stream. Follow the show on Twitter. That's at KC Sports Report. And Instagram, that's KC_Sports Report. Subscribe to the channel. We haven't had a ton of people coming out recently, but I do appreciate the guys that have been here every single week, watched every video, liked every video. You guys help the channel run, and I really, really appreciate it. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to end this live stream and have a great rest of your Thursday night.